Hi, I'm Paddycake, and this is my best friend, Brent. We've been besties for a while now, and one of the things we bonded over was our shared love of Madlibs. On Christmas a few years ago, Brent pitched the idea to me to create a show where we use AI art to accentuate the humor of Madlibs. 3 weeks later, we started filming, and we haven't stopped since. Through this project, we hope to share our weird humor and to highlight both the unexpected beauty and complete absurdity of AI-generated art. Welcome to MidJourney Madlibs. Hello, my darlings, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new, please come in and make yourself at home. My name is Paddycake. Welcome to Paddycake Games and the next episode of MidJourney Madlibs. With me, as always, is my best friend and my co-host, Brent. How are you doing today?
I'm wonderful. I've just been raring for this episode, so I'm glad it's finally here.
Me too. All right, well, we're not going to waste any time. You guys know how this works. We send each other Madlibs. We send each other the answers to go into the Madlibs. We then take those Madlibs. We run them through MidJourney. We create art. We get together. We share it with each other, and we laugh. And that's the show, and we hope you like it. And if you do like it, look down below the video. There's a button just for you. It's a thumbs up button. It just means you like the video. And if you're going to do that, you might as well go right next to it and click the subscribe button. That'll super help out this channel. And then if you want to be super thorough, you can ring the notification bell. That lets you know when new videos get posted to the channel. And then if you want to be super duper thorough, or if you just want to hang out with us, look in the description of the video, and there's a link to a Discord. Come and join the Discord, and you can hang out with us. You can talk about MidJourney Madlibs. You can talk about video games, anything else you want to talk about. Plus, all the art from the show is put onto the MidJourney Madlibs channel the day after the episodes air. So if you want your own copies of these crazy pieces of art, or if you just want to see them up close and personal, that's where you do it. Brent, you're up first, as usual. What you got for us?
I'm very excited about this one. This one is Grandma's favorite fairy tale. And it's in the style of Western American artist Frederic Remington.
Howdy. Let's talk about tonight's spotlighted artist. Frederic Sackrider Remington, born in 1861, was an American painter, sculptor, and illustrator best known for his vivid depictions of the American West. His work focused on cowboys, Native Americans, soldiers, and the rugged landscapes of the American frontier, becoming synonymous with the romanticized image of the Wild West. Remington's art style is characterized by detailed realism and dynamic compositions that capture the motion and energy of frontier life. His keen eye for authenticity and dramatic use of light and shadow gave his works a sense of immediacy and action. Remington was heavily influenced by his personal experiences traveling through the American West. His fascination with Western culture and history drove him to make repeated trips to the frontier, where he sketched and studied the people and landscapes firsthand. His admiration for Western artists such as Charles M. Russell, along with his friendships with military officers and frontiersmen, further shaped his realistic portrayals. Some of Remington's most notable works include his painting, A Dash for the Timber, in 1889, which captures a thrilling chase scene between cowboys and Native Americans, and The Bronco Rider, 1895, a bronze sculpture that vividly depicts the struggle of man versus wild horse, becoming an icon of Western art. In all, Remington created 22 bronze sculptures, and he is credited for inventing the cowboy sculpture. His series of military paintings, including The Charge of the Rough Riders, 1898, reflects his fascination with cavalry and the Spanish-American War. An interesting fact about Frederic Remington is that despite his association with the American West, he was actually born and raised in upstate New York, far from the frontier life he so famously depicted, though he'd always enjoyed riding, hunting, swimming, and camping from a young age. Additionally, he was an early adopter of nighttime painting, developing a technique that captured the effects of moonlight and firelight in a realistic yet dramatic fashion, as seen in his piece, Shotgun Hospitality. Remington's fascination with night scenes became one of his artistic trademarks late in his career. One other interesting fact, Frederick's cousin, Eliphalet Remington, was the founder of the Remington Arms Company around 1839, about 22 years before Frederic was born. Remington passed away at the relatively young age of 48 from complications following an emergency appendectomy, but his works have shaped the cultural memory of the Old West, and his legacy remains a cornerstone in American art and Western iconography. Now enjoy my beautiful Madlib in the style of Frederic Remington.
I am really excited about this artist, so we're about to get started.
Why are you wearing a hoodie?
Oh.
I mean, I realize it's hoodie weather right now, but
finally. No, you'll get it in just a minute.
okay.
But also, happy late birthday to my mom. Yesterday was my mom's birthday.
Happy birthday, Mom.
So this is kind of perfect. You got Grandma's favorite fairy tale, and you cannot tell what this is. Little Gray Riding Hood
Oh,
was
okay.
on her way to Grandma's house in London.
All right, I get it now.
Yeah.
That's really cool, though. I mean, it looks
Yes,
it looks very much like Remington's artwork. It's very, very reminiscent of that, but also it's sort of like it's like a cool reinterpretation of Little Red Riding Hood. It's the Gray Riding Hood, you know, the gray hoods.
Yes. And this is the only one I got with her in gray. And it was so great. So I was like, I mean, every other one of them was red. They knew exactly who Little Riding Hood is. So, but
Awesome.
Madlib is going to play with her description all through the Madlib. You'll see. She had brought along a basket of fish and chips.
Lovely. How nice. Thanks.
I know.
How very
And a
very
book.
appropriate when going to London.
But it gets worse though. And a bouquet of grackles
Oh, that's not so
for
nice.
for her grandma.
Oh, I'm sure she really loved a bouquet of loud black birds. Oh God, yes, not nice. They look like fish.
I guess
Why do they look like
I guess
fish?
Well, fish and chips.
Oh, that's true.
There was one that came out and it had a basket with like grackle shaped things that were fish color. They didn't have wings.
Oh.
And then there were like some yellow things. It was wild. Anyway. But when Little Red Riding Fancy Collar arrived at Grandma's abandoned warehouse, something seemed different. How can you tell?
Right?
I mean, it's either looked way, better than this,
or way worse.
Maybe it's this wolf that's just laying here on the ground in front of her.
In his strange anatomy, with his head coming out of his chest, that's really strange.
Maybe he's kind of just
And
twirls around himself.
also, I guess she just abandoned the gray hood and went back to red.
It's a freaking fancy collar,
Right? It's a fancy collar. Little red fancy collar.
Grandma was tucked in bed under a big pile of tires.
Oh, that sounds lovely. Oh my God.
Come close to me, my dear, Grandma said quietly.
Well, it gave you exactly what you wanted. Come to
I got
me,
a lot
my
of
dear.
variations of this.
And apparently
but
she wrote her the note that said, "Come to me, my dear." It's just a note.
That's how quietly she said it.
So quietly, she just wrote it down.
It's a literal version of it, perhaps. Unhinged Riding Hood looked carefully at Grandma.
Oh, Grandma, what horrible horns you have.
Well, in my head, it sort of almost represented wolf ears.
Oh, okay. It looks like
Yeah.
horns to me, but okay.
Yeah. My. What sweaty lips you have,
Oh,
Grandma, she said.
No wonder it gave you problems with the. Oh God! My, what big sweaty lips you have, Grandma. Oh God! And it got the words
But-
right.
Well,
What? 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 What
yes
is
and
printed
no.
twice? It's close.
I'm wearing hairballs to see you better, my dear.
Ugh. Hi. I'm wearing hairballs. Hairballs to see you better, my dear. It's like an advertisement. Hairballs to see you better, my dear. Oh man, that's some big hair they have too. Good lord.
And then they're wearing hairballs. I mean, I don't know how it helps you see.
Yeah, maybe it's just their slang term for wigs. Have a hairball. It'll make you see better.
Because they see you better, maybe.
Oh yeah, because you stand out. It makes sense with that much hair.
My, what coarse mint green hair you have, Grandma, said little red churning hood.
Oh wow. Well, it's more teal than mint green, but that's okay.
But it's almost like Grandma's just barely realizing that her hair is
oh my
coarse.
gosh,
She's
my
like,
hair is coarse and awful. Why
It
hasn't
is.
anyone told me I need conditioner?
Thank you. I had an appointment at the tooth salon this morning, replied Grandma.
I had an appointment at the tooth morning.
I just love this so much. Her goofy face and the flippy curl, but it almost looks like a cartoonish version of Frederic Remington's like style.
Yeah.
And he also did illustration art, which
Okay.
you'll see later on. So he didn't love it. Apparently, well, you heard.
Yeah.
Lost her pumpkin. It sounds like one of those stupid meme things where, you know, I lost my pumpkin. And my, what sharp, pointy lungs you have, remarked the young girl.
Oh, that's something you don't want to be sharp and pointy.
But if you had tooth, if you had tooth like one more slot down, and it would have been sharp, pointy tooth
Teeth,
you have.
yeah.
Teeth. I mean, that would have been awesome. But anyway, I thought that was fine.
So it looks like root vegetables.
or something else.
Or testicles.
But, yeah.
It could be that too, but
Sorry, Mom. Anyway, why? That's so I can ignite you, yelled the koala bear as he pulled the pistol off his head to reveal his true identity.
that's awesome. Come on, that's awesome.
I did not say anything about grandma or dress or anything, and I got a couple of koala bears in dresses. I also got some that look like gangsters, but I love this. Is so funny, you know. And she's like, oh!
And she's giving the peace sign. She's like, yes.
Or victory, who knows?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm like, now we've got Little Gray Riding Hood and the Big Bad Koala Bear.
Yes. Oh my God! It's like
Here's our
Rosie the
honorable mentions.
Riveter. It's Rosie the Riveter as a koala. Oh my God, that's amazing. Okay.
Okay, so you rode the wolf
rode the
there,
wolf.
and then you didn't recognize him after he got in the house.
Well, he was wearing a dress, to be fair, and probably a
That's
wig.
so funny. My, what big sweaty lips you have, Grandma. I don't know why.
It's so weird. It's like
so
kabuki
weird.
theater. It looks very Japanese for some reason.
Or like maybe San Francisco Chinese, you know, Gold Rush times, but it is just so bizarre. I'm wearing hairballs to see you better, my dear, Grandma said.
I'm wearing hairballs, a lair balls, to see better, my dear.
My dear. I love it. But this is that illustration one, and I just had to put it in there because this was one of the only ones I got like this, even though the previous one was a little.
That's cool. I mean, it's very like you said, it's obviously an illustration, but it looks like it's from like a book, like a kid's book or something.
My, what coarse mint green hair you have, Grandma, said Little Red Churning Head.
It's like a shampoo commercial. Or not commercial, advert in a magazine, you know.
Yeah, like maybe like in that time period, whatever time period. Well, you know, the old West, perhaps.
Obviously, Grandma's not listening. It's like, my, what coarse mint green hair you have, Grandma. Grandma.
Thank you. I had an appointment at the tooth salon this morning, replied Grandma. And
what the actual fuck?
These legs and whatever's going on there, that is all the reason why this is here.
This big old long horse legs, and then she's just like bending over like the horse. But like,
is she like, does she have one of those legs?
I don't know. That's weird. I think we managed to get kind of a centaur, maybe.
That's what I was thinking. Oh, yeah, I need to show this to Terry because he'll be like, "That's a horrible centaur."
It's the closest we've gotten.
Why, that's so I can ignite you, yelled the koala bear as he pulled the pistol off his head to reveal his true identity.
Pow!
And I use this one because this is the only one that had something igniting.
Yeah, but I also love the sunglasses. Like, he just happened to have sunglasses on his head, too. And immediately it made me think of Guy Fieri, and I don't know why.
Maybe that.
Flavor Town! Maybe so.
Grandma's favorite fairy tale. I have ruined Red Riding Hood. You're welcome.
Okay, well, that was a lot of fun. But I hear Lady Shablagoo has one more scary tale to tell us.
She kind of has a surprise.
I'm
Think of
excited.
it as a bit of a segue.
And now, Southern Fried Scary Tales with Lady Shablagoo.
Well, hello, darlings. I'm back with one more scary tale. It's the conclusion of all that I was telling y'all about the notorious killers in Louisiana. Now, some of the details of these cases are much too graphic to do a deep dive, so we'll only hit on generalities of these terrifying serial killers, and if you look them up later, you'll thank me. And remember, between 1997 and 2004, all three of these men were actively doing horrible things at the same time. The first of these we will talk about is Derek Todd Lee. He was born in St. Francisville in 1968 and was dubbed the Baton Rouge Killer. At first, Lee's run-ins with the law were for theft and for being a peeping Tom. But in 1998, he graduated to rape and murder. For a very long time, his victims' deaths were attributed to their husbands, or a white man. And while it may seem odd that he was mistaken for a white man since he was African American, you'll understand why when we get to the next serial killer. And that man would be Sean Vincent Gillis, who was arguably the most terrifying of the two. Mr. Gillis was born in Baton Rouge in 1962, and he claimed that he began killing because of stress. I cannot get into the horrific details of his crimes, but he was known to become infatuated with certain body parts of the women he killed. These differed depending on the victim. The first woman he killed was 81 years old in 1994. He'd only intended to rape her, which was bad enough, but when he touched her, she began screaming, and he started stabbing her. Gillis killed 7 more women over the next decade. He was the reason why Derek Todd Lee went so long without being caught. Both men were killing and raping women in the Baton Rouge area at the same time, and due to their differences, law enforcement officers weren't quite sure who they were looking for. One more chilling thing of note, Gillis was aware of Derek Todd Lee's murders and even clipped newspaper articles about Lee's victims. It's possible that Sean Gillis was one of the only people in Louisiana who knew there were 2 killers out there for a while. The last of the 3 killers was Ronald Dominique, who was born in 1964 in Thibodaux, Louisiana. Ronald grew up in poverty, and his first crime was in 1985 when he was charged with sexual harassment via telephone. In 1994, he was arrested for drunk driving. 2 years later, a young black man escaped from Ronald's sister's house, claiming that Ronald, who was gay, tried to rape him. He was arrested, but was later released when prosecutors were unable to locate and identify the victim. He realized after that he had to kill his victims in order to prevent them from reporting him. Between 1997 and 2006, Ronald sexually assaulted and murdered 23 men, mostly young black men that he lured into his car with promises of giving them money. He was finally caught in 2006. Derek Todd Lee was caught in 2003 after being linked to at least 7 murders, and Sean Gillis was finally caught the following year after the tire tracks found near his final and 8th victim led police to him. Their reigns of terror had finally ended. Derek Todd Lee passed in 2016 due to heart disease, but both Gillis and Dominique are still alive in prison. Let us hope that Louisiana remains less scary. Bye, y'all. See you next season.
Well, that was certainly interesting, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what Lady Shablagoo is going to bring to us in our next season of MidJourney Madlibs. I hope you are too. I'm sure you're excited.
Maybe you can ask her.
Yeah, why not? But you know what? It's my turn, and the ginger telepathy reared its ugly head again, and we both chose Madlibs about grandmothers. So now we're going to go through my Madlib, which is the portrait of Great Grandma, and my art is in the style of Lenora Carrington. Mary Leonora Carrington was born on April 6, 1917 in Lancashire, England. Educated by governesses, tutors, and nuns, she was expelled from 2 schools for her rebellious behavior until her family sent her to Florence, where she attended Mrs. Penrose's Academy of Art. In 1927, at the age of 10, she saw her first surrealist painting at the Left Bank Gallery in Paris, and later met many surrealists. Her father opposed her career as an artist, but her mother actually encouraged her. She returned to England and was presented at court, but according to her, because she had no intention of being sold to the highest bidder, she brought a copy of Aldous Huxley's Eyeless in Gaza to read instead. In 1935, she attended the Chelsea School of Art in London for 1 year and then transferred to the Ozenfant Academy of Fine Arts. In 1936, Carrington saw the work of the German surrealist Max Ernst at the International Surrealist Exhibition in London and was attracted to the surrealist artist before she even met him. In 1937, Carrington met Ernst at a party held in London. The artists bonded and returned together to Paris, where Ernst promptly separated from his wife. In 1938, they left Paris and settled in southern France. The new couple collaborated and supported each other's artistic development. Carrington's portrait of Ernst is laced with heavy symbolisms. The portrait was not, however, her first surrealist work. Between 1937 and 1938, Carrington painted a self-portrait called The Inn of the Dawn Horse, which is now exhibited at the Metropolitan Museum of Art. With the outbreak of World War II, Ernst, who was German, was arrested by the French authorities for being a hostile alien. With the intercession of friends, he was discharged a few weeks later. When the Nazis invaded France, Ernst was arrested again, this time by the Gestapo because his art was considered by the Nazis to be degenerate. He managed to escape and flee to the United States with the help of Peggy Guggenheim, who was a sponsor of the arts. Unfortunately, this was also the end of his relationship with Carrington. After Ernst's arrest, Carrington was devastated and agreed to go to Spain with her friend Catherine Yarrow. She stayed with family friends in Madrid until her paralyzing anxiety and delusions led to a psychotic break, and she was admitted into an asylum. After treatment, she was released into the care of a keeper and was told that her parents had decided to send her to a sanatorium in South Africa. En route to South Africa, she stopped in Portugal, where she made her escape. She went to the Mexican embassy to find Renato Leduc, a poet and the Mexican ambassador. He agreed to a marriage of convenience with Carrington so that she would be accorded the immunity given to a diplomat's wife. After spending a year in New York, Leduc and Carrington went to Mexico in 1942, where she lived on and off for the rest of her life. Carrington died on May 25, 2011 in Mexico City as a result of complications arising from pneumonia. Carrington stated that, "I painted for myself. I never believed anyone would exhibit or buy my work." She focused on magical realism and alchemy and used autobiographical detail and symbolism as the subjects of her paintings. Carrington is credited with feminizing surrealism. Her paintings and writing brought a woman's perspective to what had otherwise been a largely male-dominated artistic movement. Carrington demonstrated that women should be seen as artists in their own right, and not to be used as muses by male artists. Much of her work in the 1940s is focused on the underlying theme of a woman's role in the creative process. You know, I think I probably would have really liked her had we met, so please enjoy this Madlib with art in the style of Lenora Carrington.
Well, to be fair, mine was Grandma. This is great Grandma. This a slightly different person.
You are correct. You are correct. I am really excited about the art style for this one. I really, really love Lenora Carrington. I've just devoured all of her art while I was doing this one just to make sure I would pay homage to her. And I got some really weird and funny stuff too, so I'm super excited. A striking printing of Great Grandma as a young grape has been hanging in our living ape for as long as I can remember.
That's Great Grandma.
I said it was striking. I didn't say it was pleasant.
So close. Typically, portraits give us a little more than,
A beat up face, beat up bruised face with grapes shoved all over it.
Well, maybe Grandma's from Italy, and she was stomping grapes and slipped.
Yeah, poor Nona. A local art dealer believes it was tied up by James McNeill Whistler. I don't know what these little things are. They made me think of insects. I don't know why. But like one of them, the one that's in the middle, it's like, I picture like they put on this dress, but it got hung on a hook on the wall, and they're all trying to figure out how to get it unhooked.
Or maybe she like made a dress out of a tapestry and then realized that the other end of the tapestry
is still attached. They're like, how do I get it down? I don't know. Maybe if I wiggle it.
She was a very clever seamstress, but she didn't think it all the way through.
Whose weirdest work is the painting of his kaiju sitting in a rocking octopus.
It's close.
It's close. I didn't really get many kaiju, per se. I got lots of octopuses, or octopi, but not very many kaiju. I actually got no kaiju. But this one I really liked because I think it's like the guy's just pretending to be a kaiju. So he puts on his cloak with his mask with the little lights, and he goes out with his black octopus.
I was just imagining this being a really, he's a teenager. A teenage kaiju.
A teenage kaiju. Like, okay, that works too. He's
wearing his hoodie.
Yeah. It could be true. After all, Great Grandma was the reigning cute baby panda of her day. Panda kind of looks a little bit like a pug.
I feel like she would be cuter if she had panda appendages.
It also looks a little like Grumpy Cat. And I think it's
almost
probably
was on this episode.
Yeah,
in the background.
Oh, really? Because I think it's the whiskers, because it has cat-like whiskers on its face, so it's kind of cat-like rather than panda-like. With her sinister complexion, high cheek vampires, and vivid green teeth, every artist wanted to paint her.
Did they? I mean,
she's so pretty.
read that again. I want to see how accurate this was.
With her sinister complexion, high cheek vampires, and vivid green teeth, every artist wanted to paint her.
Yeah, I nailed it.
Yeah, it completely nailed it. She's got vivid green teeth. She's got very high cheekbones, but she's also very vampiric.
And even the ears, and
her complexion, like the coloring around the eyes and the cheeks, make her look very sinister. So yes, it nailed it, and it also nailed it in the Lenora Carrington style. And she had no end of charming suitors, like this cat.
This cat, yeah. It does feel a bit odd. I mean, it feels like it's become bipedal. A la T-Rex, but I mean,
yeah. But then the person that's gesturing to them also is very cat-like in their appearance. So maybe this cat is going to become someone like the other cat that's trying to say, like this cat, he is your suitor. Date him, he is lovely. Over the years, she was courted by crowned ropes of Europe, as well as the leading chains of American society. And she had to drag them around. Come with me. You're my suitor. You have to follow me.
I didn't know exactly how it was going to interpret this, but hey.
I've often wondered why she married Great Grandpa, because he was kind of terrifying looking. So, this made me think of the ghouls from Fallout.
Oh my gosh, you're not wrong. Oh my goodness. I mean,
it's so wild because it actually shows like the full bone structure of like the cheek. So it's like a skull. It's like an actual skull, but it's made out of skin. It's so weird.
It is definitely one of those uncomfortable things to look at.
It would be great if I could make this as like prosthetic makeup and wear it. It would be such a cool costume. When I asked Dad about it, he said Great Grandpa was the only nun who could make her laugh.
And it was the Skeksis?
That's exactly what I thought when I got it. It's like, that looks like a Skeksis from the Dark Crystal. That's awesome.
Wow.
Isn't love rude?
What?
So this is a zoom out. And the reason that I did the zoom out and chose this one is because the original picture was just the black cat in front of the bowl with the lit candle and the cup of coffee. I remember thinking to myself,
which is cute.
It's cute in itself, but I wanted to zoom out to see what was surrounding it. And it gave me this weirdness. So like this invisible person that's sitting at the table behind the cat that you only see the head and the arms and the legs under the table. Like everything else is completely invisible.
Only parts of them is invisible. It's like an invisible poncho.
It's so strange. It's so weird. All right, so that is it for the Madlib. Are you ready for the honorable mentions?
Oh, I mean,
Of course you are. The portrait of Great Grandma as a young grape.
Well, at least she wasn't like beat half to death.
Well, if this is Grandma when she was a young grape, how old is she now? It's the same prompt. Great Grandma as a young grape.
She has some striking green eyes.
Oh yeah, those eyes are beautiful. But just, and this is something that people would do on like Instagram nowadays. If they wanted to make like a viral Instagram post, they go into like Michael's or Hobby Lobby or something, and they go to the aisle that has all the ivies. Or the the garlands that look like ivies and leaves and flowers and stuff, and they go stand behind them in the rack and wrap them around their face, and somebody else takes pictures of them. They put filters of them, and they go viral on Instagram. This is what this is, but it's what Grandma did with grape bushes back in the day. This was Grandma was the reigning cute panda of her day.
Now that I find that way more believable.
As she sits looking out the window for her gentleman suitors to come.
No, she's so pensive looking.
Guess you know what this one is.
Oh,
Sinister
yeah.
complexion, high cheek vampires, vivid green teeth. Who wouldn't want to paint her? She's so pretty.
I mean, also nailed it. Yeah, as long as you are definitely doing that with a very, very strong tongue, almost tearing your cheek open. And also the six figures thing is definitely not helping. Sorry.
I've often wondered why she married great grandpa, because he was kind of terrifying looking.
Well,
so was she.
Calling the kettle.
But as you can see, they're bird people, because she did a lot of those weird beaked people in her paintings, but they made it into a photograph, which I thought was weird and funny.
And so bizarre, because I mean, wow.
And that is it. We'll leave it on that. That's the end of my Mad Lib. Well, that's it for tonight. We hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you.
Wow, that was great.
Yeah, thanks for running the show with me, Brent. It's always so much fun.
Guess what, y'all?
What?
Our next episode is, of course, our Halloween episode. But it's also our 100th episode. So
when we started doing this, did you ever think that we would actually get to 100 episodes?
I'm more amazed that we got here so quickly.
Yeah, maybe we should slow down a little bit.
I mean, I feel like our final episode of the season is just going to be a little bit extra, because that's what Halloween is.
Absolutely. It's a little bit extra.
We'll probably have costumes.
Yeah, why not? Well, anyway, we're going to get out of here. Make sure you click like and subscribe before you leave. And we'll see you guys on Thursday.
Like and subscribe.
The algorithm demands it.